Hey guys, Travis here with TK Lighting Design to talk about the proper way to light your space in a kitchen. Now, whether you're building or designing your own home and you want to learn how to lay out the lighting yourself, or maybe you have an architect or interior designer helping you and you want to have some input on the design and style that you want, then this video is here to educate and help you do just that. We do offer consulting design services for lighting, lighting control, specialty systems, and layout. If you're looking for someone to design and lay out your home or commercial building, just reach out to us through our website contact form at tklightingdesign.com. That's tklightingdesign.com. Or call us at 208-957-7350 and leave us a message describing your project and how best to get a hold of you, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. However, if you're like the rest of us and you like to do things yourself, then this video is just for you. Okay, so when you're lighting a kitchen, there are three types of lighting to consider. There's ambient, task, and accent. Now, ambient lighting is the light that is going to fill your space. You want this to be evenly distributed on the floor and on the vertical spaces as well. This is filling up the room with voluminous light. In a kitchen, if you usually have an attic, access above your ceiling if it's a remodel, or floor joist space, or any of the above if it's new construction, then can lights are typically the best way to do this. A lot of contractors will use 6 or 5 inch fixed cans, or if it's a sloped ceiling, they'll use 6-inch sloped, or there's 5-inch adjustable cans that they'll use. If your ceilings are shorter, I like to use 4-inch just because the smaller aperture will make it less noticeable, and it will also help reduce with glare. And also glare, if the light source itself is recessed more up into the ceiling, that will help reduce glare. Or if you have really high ceilings, then glare is not really going to be an issue for you because it's more relative to how low the ceiling is and how powerful the light is. And the light cans that have the light source recessed up in there, they tend to be a lot more on the pricey side. But we'll have a list of products and resources for you to look at in our YouTube links and on our website, tklightingdesign.com, of our preferred manufacturers, so you can help navigate what kind of product will be best for you. Now, please, whatever you do, don't use track lighting in your kitchen as your all-in-one ambient and task lighting. We'll talk about task lighting here in a minute. I don't know where this trend started, if it was a limited space in the ceiling or if it was an apartment complex manager who had a good idea to save money and decided to rock track lighting and put it above the kitchen island and point it in every which direction they needed. This is not a practical design or a good look for the application, and I know we've all seen it. Just so you know, track lighting is great for highlighting art or in a retail space. If you have a statement piece in your hallway, the whole purpose of track lighting is to highlight certain objects that you want with the type of light that you can aim in their direction and make that be your piece of focus. And you can change out the heads for when you change out your art piece or your statement piece and you need a different type of light there. So unless you're trying to highlight your cabinet faces or the front of your fridge, then let's just refrain from using track lighting. There, I said it, got it out of the way, time to move on. So if can lighting is what you're looking for and what you're wanting to go with, then I would definitely recommend doing some recessed can lighting in your kitchen for your ambient space. So the next thing you're going to do is want to figure out where to place the can lights and get enough even distribution. The way we achieve this without creating any light gaps or dark spots on the floor is through spacing. Now, the light can manufacturer, whatever one you pick out, will usually have a spacing criteria on the cut sheet, and if they don't have it, you can ask them for it. Since a can light is a symmetric distribution, it's 360 degrees around, and even if it has a square opening or it's round, a recessed can lighting is usually 300-degree distribution unless you pick a wall wash. Just don't pick a wall wash. That's for specific function. It'll only have one spacing criteria for us to to worry about. It's usually around 0.9 to 1.2. So to make things easy, for our purpose here, we'll say that the spacing criteria is 1. So what this means is if your lid is 12 feet from above ground, or AFF, which is above finished floor, then the max you can space this fixture from one another without having any gaps is 12 feet. So you basically take your ceiling height, or the height between the surface you want to light and where your light source is going to be, that difference, and you multiply it by that spacing criteria to get your max allowed spacing. So this ceiling that we're working on is 10 feet, so we don't want to space it any more than 10 feet. But we also want to get a good amount of light and not stack them on each other. So for this purposes, I think we're going to go with 6 feet in this case. And we usually want the spacing of the light that's closest to the wall. So your starting and ending point is going to be about half of whatever your spacing is for the rest of your can lights. This is because the max spacing and the spacing criteria, we don't have another can light there, so we want that to be half. So in this case, we'll do 3 to 5 feet. I think I was in this layout, for those of you watching on YouTube, 4 feet on average from the cans that are closest to the wall. Now all this applies only to the ambient lighting filling the space. We want to create an even amount of light so it's easy on our eyes and the brain, because large contrasts will make it difficult for us to focus, give us headaches, and our eyes will have a hard time adjusting, especially to large contrasts. So the goal here is even light with minimal glare. Our next type of lighting we want to have is called task lighting. It is separately switched, circuited, or controlled lighting, and that we can turn it off and on separately from the ambient lighting, and that's being used to aid us in performing a specific task or controlled purpose. When using this type of lighting, we want to identify areas where we will be performing a task or doing the most work, as well as the types of tasks or work being performed in that space. We think of this because in a bedroom, for example, a reading light is considered a task light. However, you don't want to have it be too much center candle beam power or too much punch, so that it's so concentrated light that you're trying to read and wind down for the night, but yet it's so bright you can't even do that. The contrast will be too harsh on your eyes. You want soft, warm, gentle light to help you read and fill out only the area where you're trying to perform your task. So in this case, in a kitchen, the countertop is where the work is being performed. So that's the specific area. The type of work that's being performed is cutting and reading small print for recipes and ingredients. You know how tiny they like to print those ingredients. So we actually want a lot of light on the counter surface to help us when we're performing these tasks. Then we can turn it off when it's not needed. Now, IES, the Illuminated Engineering Society, actually recommends 50 foot candles for residential kitchen countertops. So your ambient lighting filling the space might be giving you 25 to 35 foot candles, possibly different depending on the location of your countertops and where your source of lighting is. The task lighting is going to help get you to that 50 plus foot candle mark on those countertops. So for kitchen countertops, this type of lighting is usually achieved through what we call under cabinet lighting. Light fixtures with asymmetric or directional distribution that is concealed underneath the cabinet reveal and shines down onto the countertop. You can use under cabinet lights with preset 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot lengths, or filled cuttable tape light, so you can cut to match the length of your cabinet run. Some are line voltage and some require remote drivers. Again, we will have suggested products and recommended manufacturers provided in the links in our YouTube channel and on our website, tklightingdesign.com. Now this takes us to our third and final lighting type we will be using in the kitchen, accent lighting. Accent lighting is something you want to pick out that looks nice and goes with the flow and feel of your space. A lot of designers and professionals only think that accent lighting, and they try to use just accent and task to light the space, and sometimes they use the accent lighting as your task lighting as well. This is not its intended purpose. What accent lighting is used for is something to be thought of as when you're picking out your kitchen countertops or the fronts for your cabinets or the backsplash or your tile. It's something that you want to look nice and go with your interior design, and there just so happens to be a light on it to help light up that statement piece and what's being used in there. So it's not really typically a functional light, but you can add it over specific areas like where you're going to want to put is like pendants over the bar top, linear pendants over your island, maybe a chandelier or a large pendant over your dining room table, and these will help give you extra light, but it depends on what one you pick out, because there's a lot of different styles for this, and it's really up to your taste, and you can be creative as you want, or you can kind of keep it as simple as you want. That part of it is really just for you. So as you can see, we really need all three types of lighting when we're trying to light our kitchen. As far as we want the ambient lighting to get enough space and fill up the room so we can see what we're doing. We need the task lighting to help us out when we're being detail oriented and we are performing functions, especially with a knife there. And then we want the accent lighting to help really make our kitchen pop and make it look and give that final feel that we want, people to have when they come into our kitchen. And we want this all to look great, especially if you're going to spend a lot of time in there. We want to create an effective, enjoyable space. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope it will aid you in your exciting new construction or remodel process. If you are listening on the podcast, follow us for new episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. Tell us your thoughts and feedback. Maybe if you want to hear more of something. And don't forget to check out the links on the website, tklightingdesign.com, and find our preferred partners or recommended product manufacturers and our contact form to reach out if you need any help with any lighting design projects or the design process. Thank you, and I'll get some more episodes here for you guys soon.